Okay. Okay. Share what screen now? Well, okay. Hi, Claire.
Well, hi there, Sharon.
I don't know if you can see me.
Ow. Is it pulled back or is it actually short? Can you hear me? It says that that's funny. It says that my connection's unstable and here I am in the police department.
Oh, I know. I haven't turned on the speaker. Is that better? No.
See, I can hear you.
Okay, and now I can hear
Yeah, well,
you.
okay, is your hair short or just pulled back?
Pardon me? What did you say?
I said, is your hair short or just pulled? Maybe you're not hearing me still, huh? I wonder why not.
I can hear you, yes. I can hear
Okay,
you.
I said,
I can hear
said,
you.
is your, okay, is your hair short or just pulled back?
Well, you keep blanking out. So I can't hear the whole
Oh,
message.
yeah, you know, they did.
I heard blanking out.
Okay, so I'll try it again. Is your hair short or just pulled back?
No, it's just pulled back. It's just pulled back.
Oh, but it looks so nice.
Oh,
You're
well,
getting
thank you.
snazzy and you're,
Well, you know, I think I would get it cut if I could, you know, but it's, right now, it's not a good idea.
right. I've been chopping mine off myself and I'm waiting for the vaccine to come around before I go to a,
Yes,
you know, a beauty shop.
yep,
So I'm so glad that you were able to make it because Rachel couldn't.
okay.
And we're down to 6 members, but we're introducing 2 new members
Oh, my
today.
goodness.
Yeah, not just one. Even since I wrote the agenda, another one agreed to be on the commission.
Okay.
So, because we, both Kenny and Virginia dropped.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
Oh,
was
that's a
sorry
shame.
Kenny did. I asked Kenny to please reconsider. He didn't. But so I invited Nick Newman,
Okay,
the person who was responsible for the pollinator gardens over at the
okay,
water department and stuff. So,
okay. All right, yes.
and what I like is he's a young man. We need young blood in here.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can direct things and they can do all the work, Sharon. That's why.
I'm not much good, I confess.
Yeah, well, that's okay. You know, we can't just keep getting older and not getting new blood in here, you know?
Right,
That's not gonna work. So hopefully, let's see, 3:54, we should, I know Steve is coming. I didn't hear if Adrian is.
okay.
Jason used to let me know when people said they were coming. But Ruth,
Yeah.
this is an interim position for her. She's up to her neck with other things. She can't
Mhm.
constantly contact me. So we'll wait and see what happens. So we only actually needed 4 people today.
You think we'll have enough? Oh, okay.
Well, I think that Ruth would have already told me we have to cancel if we didn't.
Mhm.
So that means Adrian must be coming. Because it's you, me, and Steve. Gosh, who else is on our commission? Adrian? Oh, and Ann. Ann's coming.
Yeah, okay, good.
So this is good. So did you get the last email with the minutes and stuff?
Yes,
Okay, good.
yes,
And here I'm
I read the
trying to,
minutes.
okay. I'm trying to find lotion in my purse and of course I can't exactly when I need it. Okay. That's the way it goes. All right. See if I have this up here to share. Genetics test. I need this up here. And then back to Zoom.
But
Okay, there I go.
okay, so now we wait, I guess. We only have about 4 minutes to go, so.
Everybody better. Yeah, our guest speaker does not have a lot of time.
Mhm.
I have, because he has a meeting that ends at 4 on Zoom. And another one that starts at 4:30.
Oh, my. What? It looks like Adrian's trying to connect.
Yes.
Hmm.
Where is everybody?
I don't know.
Well, I know Ann's coming. Oh, and so, oh, Steve said he might be able to make the quorum and we'd be okay. So Adrian looks like he's struggling.
Well, Mayor Smith is here. Hi.
Hello,
Hello, Jerry. Nice to see you.
thank you. Nice to be in a position to be seen.
I was hoping. Good.
Adrian is still trying to,
Adrian looks like. Steve said he would be, we have 4, we'll have our quorum.
hmm. Ann is coming. Hi, Ann.
How we doing?
Okay, we're waiting for people to come, so. Hmm.
I was muted. For some reason, in the police department, you know, you'd think I'd have a stable connection here. But I'm back. And if last email I sent with the minutes that we're still going to consider tentative.
Oh,
Yeah, you're breaking up so bad,
Ann,
Claire.
can you
You're
hear?
breaking up so bad, I can't understand you.
same
Yeah.
here. Same here.
Well, this is unfortunate. Okay, Nick's joining us. Hopefully my connection will get more stable.
Hi, Nick.
Sorry, muted there. Hello.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you all as well. Just gonna kind
Hi,
of close the shades on my window here. It's a little bright.
for Adrian. Okay,
Nick Sexton.
now Matt is already here. We are member.
Hi, Matt.
Um,
Hi, Mr. Mayor.
Hello, this is Adrian.
so Adrian,
I'm getting a whole lot of lag here.
Yeah.
good. Can
This-
we see you?
Yeah, I'm working on that.
It may, okay,
Uh-oh. Claire's gone.
I saw it said her bandwidth was low on my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I got too,
Yeah.
bandwidth. Does that mean where she is, or does that mean her computer?
Could be location, or it could be the strength of like the router that's in the building.
Yeah.
I know she's in the police department conference room, and to my knowledge, we've never had a problem over there with any reception. We have a number of meetings that we hold over there.
Yeah. I don't know then.
But in my home, I don't know if that means anything. Okay, start the meeting for the Environmental Commission for the city of DeKalb. January. Now, I was informed that we,
Oh,
Uh-oh. There she goes again.
no.
Can she, would phone be an option? Does she have a telephone?
Yeah, she could go with the phone. I think one of the other commission members should probably begin the meeting in Claire's absence.
Do you think it might help if we weren't using the video and some of us stuck to audio, and that'll reduce some of this bandwidth that's being used up?
Maybe, but it seems to only be an issue coming from Claire's connection. Because I mean,
Right.
I'm not getting lag
Everybody
from
else?
anybody else.
No,
Yeah,
everyone
good,
else sounds
good
good.
point. Good point, yeah. Everything's fine right here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did we lose some people from the commission? We seem kind of small this month.
I don't know if we're gonna be able to go on with this.
One of the downsides of Zoom, I guess, right?
But Adrian and Nick, you're relatively new. Ann and Sharon, you've been through the rigors of environmental now for a number of years. Could either one of you go ahead and start the meeting?
Oh, are we
Be my
allowed to?
guest.
All right, well, I guess we will call the meeting to order.
I'm
Oh, she's
actually,
back, okay.
Well,
here's what I'm thinking of doing. Thank you for calling the meeting to order. Can you do that this time? Because already Ann took it, Rachel, who is not able to be here, and Steve is.
oh dear,
Okay,
So
so,
is Adrian not hearing me?
not
yeah,
hearing.
you keep cutting out, so I'll do the best I can to run this if you're okay with that. So,
Claire? Why don't you try a telephone?
Yeah, might work better than laptop.
Terribly.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna fix. You just keep going and I'll jump in.
If you can, I've got
Okay,
someone
I
in the
will-
room.
I'm
with me.
just
If
gonna
you
run with it.
Possibly can hear me now. He's going.
You are more
Thank
clear
you,
now.
thank you.
Yeah.
Claire, why don't you just mute yourself? And
Okay.
Ann Schultz going to start the meeting. Go ahead, Ann.
okay, so we're gonna call the meeting to order for the Citizens Environmental Commission for January 21st, 2021. Let's do a roll call. So Sharon,
Here,
all right. And Claire, well, we know Claire's here. Can I just write? I know it's not in order. Can I just write down who I see on the screen and be okay with that? So Adrian is here. And Nick, you are new to the group.
I am, but I am
Okay.
here.
Welcome.
Thank
Ken
you.
Cook.
Ken is no longer with the commission,
Okay. Virginia.
and Virginia is no longer with the commission.
Okay. Is there anyone else?
Matt Sexton?
Oh, Matt. Okay. Hi, Matt. I didn't know if you were a guest speaker, so.
Yes, I'm happy to speak. Also, I'll say up front too, I talked to Claire, and unfortunately I have a 4:30 virtual. There's no commute, but I do have a 4:30
Okay.
backstop and maybe 5 or 10 minutes of remarks. So no rush, but just want to let you all know. I'm
Okay,
happy to
thank
be
you very much. And any of our ex officio members with us? I know we, at this time, don't have anyone for DeKalb Park District.
Nope.
Okay, and, oh, Steve, you joining us now?
There, Okay.
So the DeKalb Park District, hang on, no, he did not go out. He needs to go out. All right. And how about Mike Holland's not here for the Kishwaukee Water? And do we have City of DeKalb, is this our new liaison? Whoever City of DeKalb is?
I don't know. I don't know who that is.
Okay. NIU, no one's represented. Okay. And Mayor Smith, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
Definitely.
And we have no members of the public. May I have an approval of the minutes from this? Well, may I have a motion for approval of the minutes on December 3rd with the caveat that they may not be complete since I wasn't able to rewatch the video. So if you had an opportunity, I think they went out last night.
Move, and I'm here. Sorry for being a couple minutes late.
That's okay. So Steve, you move.
Yes.
There's Claire.
And do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Sharon. Any discussion or do we have to take the vote first?
I'm Jeremy.
Thank you.
Yes.
I need to butt in because Jeremy's here and he gave me an Ethernet connection, so I don't cut out. So just to let you know that of course, I'm in the room with someone now, which is why my mask is on. And we need to bypass some of the other regularities and let Matt do his presentation and answer questions so he can move on to his next meeting.
Oh, that's fine.
Your audio sounds good.
Who's taking notes this meeting?
Adrian, I need you to take the notes, okay? Can you please take the minutes? And I need to know before Jeremy leaves, am I coming through clearly?
Yes,
Much more
Yes.
clearly now.
yes.
People there.
Okay.
So, Jeremy? Matt's gonna need to share his screen. Is that gonna be possible?
Looks like,
We
looks
can-
like I
Yeah, he
can.
should be able to share it.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. It says host disabled screen sharing when I click the
It
button.
says host disabled screen,
Okay, so I have to drive back to the office.
and then he can share.
Can you bring here?
Pardon me?
Which one?
Matt, right there, yes.
Yeah, I have to do it from mine.
And it's gonna, he doesn't have
It'll take
time
me-
for this,
it'll take me 5 minutes to get back to your office.
okay? Okay, a little blooper there.
We can make it happen.
It's gonna take Jeremy 5 minutes to get back to his office to give you co-hosting capabilities so you can share the screen, Matt. I am so sorry.
So let's go ahead and approve the minutes in
No
the
problem.
meantime, shall we?
Yes,
So you want to take it over from here, Claire?
sure. I believe we had a motion to approve the minutes.
Yep, we had a motion and a second.
Okay, the minutes have been approved and seconded. Are there any discussion of those minutes?
I think there's a few just grammar changes, a few spots where they need some minor correction, but other than that,
Steve, if you want to send those to me, that would be great.
I'd be happy to.
Thank you.
Note that Ann feels she needs to listen or at least review the recording first to make sure that these are complete. So Ruth, who I submitted them to, knows that this is still in draft form. So all we can do is approve the draft today, and we'll do the final minutes at the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay, let us move on. And I want to speak about the fact that I did speak with Matt Enroy, I'm not sure I'm saying his name right, from the DeKalb Park District, and told him that we needed a new ex officio member. And he said that He is looking for one. He was hoping to have one ready for us for this meeting. Obviously, he did not find one yet, but that is in the works. Mike Holland has left me no message, so he is not adding to this meeting at all. I haven't heard from Sarah Fox, so I'm sure she would have gotten the invitation. So there's nothing from her. And of course, our city staff liaison is still vacant. Mayor Smith, I would like to ask you where we're at with that. I understood that you were going to hire by the 26th, I thought, of December.
Yeah, I think Scott Zach is going to be the liaison from what I understand, and Scott's just joined us, so he may not be available today, but I will check in on that when I get into the office tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Matt, you have to
Jeremy,
leave.
are you working it from there? Okay, so Jeremy is still working on this. Let me talk to you about a couple of people. Unfortunately, it looks like we're missing another new person that has not joined yet. Already, the letter of request to become a new commissioner has been put in for two people. Kyle Moore, a young man, 32, eager to join, recommendation from the mayor. I spoke with him. He's planning to be very active with our commission, and he will be approved at the meeting with the city council this Monday. Also, Nick Newman will be replacing Ken Cook, who also dropped along with Virginia. And we all know Nick's qualifications because you might recall he had a Pride Award nomination, which we all approved. And he's very active. He's extremely excited about helping with sustainability in DeKalb. So we'd like to welcome Nick. He promptly got his letter out to the mayor so that he will be confirmed as well this coming Monday. So welcome to both of them. Kyle literally emailed me today about joining. Maybe he's having Zoom problems for all we know. So anyway, welcome, Nick.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Happy to be here.
I do want to, some of these they're new business, but I did send you the press releases already. And we do have a new EV charging station. You read the press release, hopefully. Just for the record, I would have preferred if we had been informed that this was in place. I learned about it by having an off-subject conversation with Andy Rayo with the street department, but at least it is in place and it can encourage more people who have electric vehicles, especially if you're coming en route from places a little bit distant like Rockford or Chicago. It would be a nice place to stop and do business in this city while you're getting a charge. So that's the positive there. I hope everyone read the first monthly article in the Daily Chronicle. This will continue. I'm just so sorry, Matt, that this is not going smoothly for you. My entire intention
No problem. No problem at all. I'm sitting here no matter what.
is that I want to feature Matt in the next Daily Chronicle article. By the way, all of you who are going to be writing articles, which I hope you're going to join me and have ideas, they are due to be sent to Steve, who then has to forward them by the last Sunday of every month. The plan in general is that the first Thursday, I believe, of the following month, we'll have another article in. It's impressive that this particular editor wanted us featured, and she wanted it right at the beginning of the newspaper. Page 2, it's pretty impressive, or 3, that we got in there at that level, and hopefully that will continue. I already got good feedback. I had a Zoom meeting with Dan Kenny today with another project we're working on, and he said that his wife, Malin, cut out the article, found it very useful, did not know some of these things about recycling in DeKalb, and now has it posted on her refrigerator. So that's already good feedback. Sarah, welcome. Oh,
Yeah, thank you.
fantastic. Matt, take it away because we see that you're able to do your presentation now.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, and sorry for the mix up with the schedule with me and the time commitments. I'm based in the middle of Iowa, but I'm on West Coast time, so I am doing the best I can to accommodate everyone. So I really appreciate everybody's flexibility on this call. I will rip through this as quickly as I can. I think it's about 10 slides or so. And if we do not have time for questions, certainly happy to follow up. And I will do all this with the caveat that I'm on the community development team, not on the sustainability team. I am by no means a subject matter expert, but I can certainly work to run down answers to questions you have internally if you are patient. So I'm happy to do that. Again, my name is Matt. I'm very, very happy to be with you all. We are quite humbled to be presented with a certificate last month virtually through City Council by the NIU Green Pause Environment Alliance. And so that celebrated our commitment to renewable energy. And so I'm excited to share those commitments with you and some updates from the data center. Really quickly, just as a frame of reference, I always like to start with Facebook's mission, which is to give people the power to build community and bring the world closer together. And so as we work towards this goal, obviously the type of information we're sharing online is changing from little text status updates to three-dimensional photos and live stream 4Ks and virtual reality worlds. So as these experiences become more robust and data intensive, it's our data centers that uniquely support our platform and our ability to execute this mission of giving people the power to build community and bring the world closer together. Just for your benefit, this is a picture of one of our data halls with our 4 family of apps. On the bottom, from left to right, is Messenger, Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp. WhatsApp is a messaging platform. Together, over 3 billion people will use one of these apps every month. That's billion with a B. And over 140 million businesses will rely on them in one form or another to communicate with customers or vendors or what have you. So you can obviously tell it is very, very important that these services they rely on are delivered in a safe and secure and reliable way. And the DeKalb Data Center is going to make sure that that happens. Often asked, why did you choose DeKalb? It's a big world out there. Why would you choose DeKalb? Well, we chose DeKalb for some very specific reasons. First of all, is we had a great shovel-ready site with good access to infrastructure and renewable energy, which I'll dive into in a moment. We had a great local pool of talent from the university to Kishwaukee to folks in town, and DeKalb is also somewhere we want to be for the long term and where we can see our employees living and working and raising their families for many years to come. And lastly, really most importantly, we had great community partners to help us execute this quickly. It's hard to believe 7 months ago, if you drove by, it was a field, and now we have almost an entire shell up in the air in about 7 months, and that's not peak construction time. So we're excited for a busy year ahead. Obviously, what you folks probably are most interested in are our sustainability and renewable energy efforts. We recently announced, by recently within the last couple of years, that Facebook will reach net zero carbon emissions and 100% renewable energy for our global operations by the end of last year. So that reporting is being done now in 2021, and we look forward to putting that out into the world soon. This was in addition to our goal of reducing our greenhouse gas emissions by 75% from our 2017 levels by the end of last year. And so we were on pace to reach that goal and look forward to the reporting later this year. And so because of that, we've set a new aggressive goal to reach net zero emissions in our value chain over the next decade. And our data centers are integral to all of these goals. And in Illinois, we're working with partners to bring over 170 megawatts of new wind energy to the grid. And we recently announced a power purchase agreement from the Lincoln Land Wind Project down in Morgan County. And that wind project will supply all of the energy needs of the DeKalb Data Center. So we're very proud of a recent RTI study, which I'm happy to provide, that came out in the last couple months, shows that Facebook data centers use 32% less electricity than the average data center and 80% less water. So these really are industry-leading, state-of-the-art, 21st century buildings. And last year with the reporting that in 2019, we were the largest corporate purchaser of renewable energy in the United States and second worldwide. And again, our data centers and the related energy projects are a huge, huge reason why that is the case. I would encourage you all, I have it pulled up here, but you can go to sustainability.fb.com and get a lot of this information I'm about to tell you and in more granular detail. But at a really high level for the next couple minutes, just wanted to hit some of the high points. Because, you know, at Facebook, I'll say that sustainability means more than like operating responsibly or minimizing our environmental impact. It really means having a positive effect on the communities where we are in and around the world, frankly. And so this sustainability report dug into a few things, namely climate in 2019. So this is reporting from 2020, looking back at 2019, we had made significant progress towards our goals at the time, reaching a 59% reduction from our 2017 levels. And this is what enabled us, we believe, to hit our 75% goal by the end of last year. On a renewable energy standpoint, we achieved 86% renewable energy on our goal to 100, which again, we believe we reached by the end of last year. We anticipate this study to get updated sometime later this year to reflect all of that. This is when we were recognized as the #1 corporate purchaser in the US and the second worldwide. And so we are committed to accelerating the transition to renewable energy in the communities where we operate, which is why all of our renewable energy projects are on the same electrical grids as the data centers that they support. From a water stewardship perspective, like I said, we use 80% less water than a standard data center. And so our water stewardship remains a prioritization across all of our fleet. And we've accelerated our support in local communities by investing in water restoration projects that will replenish more than 206 cubic meters per year, or 55 million gallons. And in 2019 alone, our water savings totaled 8 million cubic meters, which is 2 billion gallons, which I'm sure you know this, Mr. Mayor, but that is enough to fill 25 million bathtubs. So again, this is all 2019. Our data center fleet was a lot smaller. And so we're excited for the update this year to enhance those numbers. From a sustainability standpoint and with our data centers, a really quick overview, you can kind of see an aisle there and you can see our servers. We use an evaporative cooling process. So we bring in outside cold air. If necessary, we chill it through a wetted medium. We force the cool air down into the server bays where the servers computing are creating hot air, just like how your cell phone gets hot when it computes data. We have tens of thousands of servers getting hot. So we mix the cold air with the hot air and expel the hot air out of the side of the building to ensure that the servers can operate in an optimal temperature and humidity range. We've also revolutionized the hardware. It's called the Open Compute Project. It's an open source hardware project that anyone has access to. And so on the right there, the way our servers are aligned, you can get that information, you can implement these standards, but what it does is the way they're spaced out and the way we maximize airflow, they can actually operate efficiently in higher temperatures up to 80 degrees, which also reduces our need to artificially cool the space when it's hot outside. So our data centers are kind of bread and butter. They reach LEED Gold certification, usually only prevented from platinum based on their proximity to public transportation, just based on the size of the project and where they are. But sustainability and efficiency have been the core drivers of how we design, build, and operate these pieces of infrastructure for the company. And I think what's really exciting for DeKalb is our first site opened in Oregon in 2011. And ever since then, we have been iterating and taking everything to the nth degree. And the manifestation of a decade of that work by some of the smartest people in the world is what will be in DeKalb, Illinois, which is really exciting. In 10 years, the industry has come a long way, and all of those lessons and efficiencies will manifest themselves in DeKalb. And very, very briefly, I'm on the community development team. So we are very excited to get going and get out in the community. Our priorities will be supporting and enhancing STEM education in the community. We'll be having an annual community action grants program. Our site will be mobilized to volunteer locally, planting trees, food drives, things like that. And we'll be meaningfully engaging with local chambers of commerce and schools and organizations just like yours. And so I would encourage you all, this may surprise you, we do have a Facebook page. It is facebook.com/DeKalb Data Center. I would encourage you to give that a like or a follow. It's an easy way to get in touch with the staff at the data center. You can message it directly like you would a friend, or we post updates and hiring and all of our subcontractors. Mortenson's our main general contractor, and the subs that they have under there for employment opportunities or just general updates. So I know that was very fast and we have a couple minutes left, but that is what I had for you all.
Very good. Very impressive.
Thank you very much, Matt. Let's see, are we able to, or are you able to stop sharing your screen? Thank you very much. And did Matt already leave? Oh, there you are. I can, I found you.
I couldn't leave like that.
Of course, that is unbelievably impressive. Reaching 100% sustainability is going to be within the next decade is fantastic. But our data center here in DeKalb is going to be 100% alternative, renewable energy driven, right?
Yes, that's the power purchase agreement at the Lincoln Land project. So yeah, the new wind energy that will come online, which that own project will have its own economic benefits, its own maintenance and investment down near Morgan County. It's kind of between Jacksonville and Springfield, but that'll have its own. And while that's being built, and while the energy it produces is not needed because the DeKalb data center isn't complete yet, that energy will be produced for the benefit of the grid that DeKalb sits on until the DeKalb data center is complete and utilizes the new addition. So we're really excited about that.
So when you talk about for the benefit of DeKalb, are you saying that therefore we are reaping energy credits in some way that are being dispersed through DeKalb?
Not credits. It's what the energy that's produced from the grid before Facebook needs to. It creates a more kind of reliability factor for folks that are on the grid, because our project is adding to the capacity. It's an additional 170 megawatts.
Okay, anyone have a quick question? Because unfortunately he has a next Zoom meeting at 4:30.
Matt, I was just wondering, what's your contact information? Is there a way to reach you?
Yeah, so the easiest way is either messaging through the Facebook page, or my email is my name. It's Matt Sexton at FB, Frank Boy, Facebook, FB.com.
Okay, thank you.
Claire, very
Okay, thank you
quickly
all. I
here.
apologize. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Mayor. Sorry about that.
Okay, Matt, yes, and thanks for being on a fast track today. I just wanted to say that, as the city of DeKalb, we are so enthused about having a world-class partner like Facebook. And believe me, the Environmental Commission, I hope, shares in that enthusiasm for getting a partner who is here, as Matt suggests, for the long term. And what they're going to be able to do within our community is just, magnificent. And I want to thank Matt personally for, from the very, very get-go, being a true, very responsive partner. And Matt, we appreciate it. And I hope the Environmental Commission will continue to stay in touch with you as I sort of transition out of the municipal scene.
I have a feeling you won't be going too far. You may not have the same title, but I have a hunch I'll see you around.
And Matt, prior to the requirement that I submit the article for the February issue of the Data Chronicle, I'll probably send you an email with a couple of extra questions to round out my article about you and Facebook.
Great. And the sooner we get those two, I can cross-reference those with our sustainability team who are driving these projects. They are, I assure you, much smarter than I am, and can probably get you a little better info. So no, that sounds great. I'm looking forward to getting back to DeKalb. I had the privilege of going there a couple of times last year, not as much as I'd like with the travel restrictions, but we'll certainly keep you apprised, and look forward to seeing you all in person soon, hopefully.
Thank you again, Matt.
Okay, thank you all very much. Sorry again for the rapid tongue.
That's
there, but
okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Very quick, and yet I felt comprehensive enough to assure me that we have just an incredible new industry in town. And therefore, with that kind of background and with the methods they're going to use going forward, that means that all the technicians and everyone they're going to hire are also going to be on board with the same energy minded, conservation mindedness, and options to help the community. Volunteering, from what I gathered, they may actually volunteer for some of the projects we have. So that's excellent. Okay, Adrian, I just want to ask you if you are, had you understood that I wanted you to take the minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know, you can totally rely on the fact that this is being recorded, by the way, and then listen to it again and complete your minutes. Or you can take handwritten notes during it, whichever you want.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on with the agenda. I had an excellent discussion with Andy Rea. I had been trying to contact him for a couple of months to actually invite him to a commission meeting so we could go over that article that Bill Alekno had shared with us a few months back, talking about some of Europe's advances in which they cut down on the amount of salt in a liquid solution so that not only could they direct the salt more appropriately, exactly where it should go instead of scattering it and ending up polluting, and also reduce the amount being used. So finally, he called me. I had a great talk. It turns out that we are using already this liquid salt solution method. It is mixed with beet juice. What I am still awaiting, without going into all kinds of details, I'm interested in seeing if they have lowered their salt usage to the level possible, equivalent to Europe's. He doesn't have exact figures, but he could tell me that they have lowered their salt usage by 25 to 30% over the past decade. So of course, that's very encouraging. As we get warmer and warmer climate conditions, salt usage could either go up or down, because we seem to be hovering at this rather dangerous level between freezing and not freezing. So we keep getting this glare ice that needs to be treated. But it was encouraging. The method, yes, same kind of thing, less salt, less scattering. The mixture he is using works under 0 all the way to -20. And even during the polar vortex, what they're doing now will be effective. And so there was really nothing additional to let you know, except I'm waiting details. I told him that when he could assure me of his figures and how much reduction we have, giving me exact figures. I'd also write an article on how his division is also helping with sustainability in the city of DeKalb. Does anyone have any questions about that?
I have one question related to how does the fact that it's a liquid solution affect the traction that actual salt crystals can help give to vehicles on the road? Because I know some places use sand instead of salt. And I wondered if, because I just wonder, I know salt can help with traction as well as melting the ice, but I wonder if the liquid solution might not be as effective in that aspect.
Apparently it is, because he did stress how it was able to take care of ice conditions all the way to -20. So, and of course, I have no expertise in this. Sorry, Nick. So I won't be able to go further on that. But it's good to muse about it. And of course, if you have any kind of exact questions, I get them to me and I can always talk to Andy.
Sure.
I do want to tell you something very positive, all of you commissioners. Andy called me the other day specifically to ask my well, advice and information regarding the proper LED lights to add to the city-owned ones. Now, most of you may remember that ComEd came and replaced a great number of the street lights that had been sulfur or other types of bulbs with LED bulbs, and that was a couple of years ago. They replaced the first 900 one year. They had 900 to go. ComEd is not, as a matter of fact, it has not communicated with me, though I have requested it to do so. So I don't even know if these are completed. Perhaps, Mayor Smith, can you tell me if that has been completed?
No, I cannot.
Okay, but at any rate, the city owns a great number, up to, I believe he said, 300 to 400 lights. And they're considering energy savings. As you may recall, LED lights save a vast amount of money because they have so little energy output compared to others. However, he wanted to check with us as, well, he was using me as the chair of the commission to make sure if I had any environmental concerns about what kind of lamps would be installed. So I sent him information from the International Dark Sky Association. That really is the best source at this point, directing their information around the world. The interest in preserving the night sky, protecting flora and fauna from too many rays, adjusting how much blue light on the spectrum is directed to the environment because that can be damaging depending on the number of Ks. At any rate, so I sent him all that information and thanked him very much for asking us. There's also health concerns that we've discussed as a commission before, possibility of retinal damage, difficulty in adjusting night versus daytime based on blue light's effect on the melatonin in the brain, etc. The Dark Sky, International Dark Sky Association addresses that as well. And I did tell Andy I would send him some of the newer reports as I got to them. But the benefit to the city of getting this information quickly is that DeKalb was one of 42 communities eligible for these, it's a grant. And free of charge, they can replace these 300 to 400 lights as long as they come, first serve basis. So I had to promptly get this information over to Andy so the city can apply.
Claire,
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but the city lights are not on our agenda for this evening. Is it okay if we, at least I don't see it, is it okay if we move on to the agenda items?
Yes, you
Thank
are
you.
right. It's what it was. I added it to Andy Rea.
Hmm.
Okay, thank you. First CEC presentation. I'm wondering which of them we should do first, and if anyone has an idea. We talked about that last time, that we needed to have at least 3 of them. We talked about 5G. I have contacted the person, Mark, last name is skipping my mind, Mark Thorson from NIU's IT department, who it was recommended to me to ask his advice. I have not heard back yet. Another possibility was one on natural habitat, one on electric vehicles again, one on food, and those were the 3 main ones. Is there anything that you feel we should do first, because it's already January and we should start planning? Okay, well, I can continue trying to get 5G off the ground. And you had said, and this worked very successfully with one of our other programs last year when we had John speak about wildlife in the city. STEM Cafe was very interested in co-sponsoring it and did.
Okay.
Do you still have connections with STEM Cafe with Judy?
Yes, I actually work in that department now. I'm part of NIU STEAM, so Judy is one of my coworkers.
Okay, would this be anything that would interest STEM Cafe?
I will ask.
Okay, that would be excellent. And also, how about the others?
Oh, wait, I was thinking 5G. Or you're thinking, what
Yeah,
was the
yeah.
topic? Yeah,
Yes,
for the 5G? Okay.
yes. The other ones, from what I'm gathering from, I attend a lot of them online right now. It seems that there's a wide range of subject matter that's covered, and it doesn't have to be necessarily biology based or anything, right?
Nope. But just so you have a heads up, Judy's already planned for the next 5 months.
Oh, okay,
She's already about 5, 6 months out.
okay. Then we wouldn't be able to do 5G.
Well, we
Okay,
could if you don't mind it later in the season.
okay, thanks. So if you can check on that. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Okay. Any other ideas with co-sponsorship? The first time that we had a co-sponsored event, we did one on solar energy, and the League of Women's Voters and 350 Kishwaukee also joined us. Is this acceptable to the group to bring in these other groups to co-sponsor?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think it assures us of more attendance.
I agree.
Okay, let's move to old business. The sustainability plan updates, we ran through the last time, and it appears that many of them are beyond what members of our current members want to take part in. Now we have 2 new members coming on board next month. And I think we should put that on the agenda again. All those that we had to take Bill Elecno and Dan off of, Kenny. And now we have a big vacancy with Kenny Cook left, Virginia's gone. We have a lot of openings. So I think we better put that on the next agenda before these items are removed, because some people may be very interested in addressing them and we're not sure yet.
And if you don't mind my saying, last meeting, you wanted to devote an entire meeting to talking about sustainability plans. So do you want that all for the well, we're not meeting in February, are we? Or is
No,
Okay, so for our March meeting?
I think we better do that. Yes, I think that's a good idea.
All right.
Anyone have any disagreement with that? Okay. Sarah, I am going to backtrack to our commission reports because you did come in late. And did you have a report, Sarah?
I do not. I mean, the university is still all remote. I guess maybe of interest is they're finally hiring a sustainability coordinator, which is kind of exciting, housed in the environmental studies department. So that should be somebody whose job is actually to pay attention to more kind of comprehensive sustainability, programming and, things that they can work with facilities on and all of those. And that's not a position that the university has had before.
Okay, thank you very much. The next piece of old business, the monthly Daily Chronicle articles. Just a comment after the Facebook article that I want to submit. Anyone can jump in. I will be sending a list of, and I don't believe those were in the minutes, and last time, the list of what we decided could be part of the sustainability, the Daily Chronicle articles.
Probably not. Topics raised: Monarch City, USA, the burning garbage, promoting natural habitats, celebrating scrappers, recycling rules, planting native plants for birds. That's all listed on this last month's minutes.
Okay, you have them. I will put out, however, a I'll just send you an email of some of the ideas that I have come up with to add to that. Anyone who's interested in a particular topic, and mind you, we're talking about 12 articles a year. That's a lot to keep up with. So given that I can't write all of them, if something grabs you and you're better able to address it, for instance, then I would be, send me an email, let me know, and we'll reserve that topic for you. For instance, Rachel is probably going to do the March one on Monarch City and encouraging people to be planting milkweed. And then April's open for the next idea. So, you know, I'll send out that email with a list of topics, and anyone who's interested, let me know.
I'll be honest, I am not a writer, so I'm probably not going to volunteer for that.
Okay,
Writing is not my strong suit.
okay.
So-
Any other writers here, I hope? Well, I know that Steve
I,
is.
I do like writing, so I could help out there as well.
Excellent, Nick, you can take mine.
Excellent.
Can we
Um,
just,
Ra-
can we
Yeah.
clarify the process of this just very quickly so that it's all going? So are people sending things directly to me and then I'm sending, I know I'm sending them to the newspaper, but are they going through you, Claire, and then to me, or are they just coming to me directly?
Send them to me first,
Okay,
because I'm kind of familiar with what we can't say. Let's put it that way. We
All right.
have to have it directed to city interests, etc. And yeah, let me see them first.
okay.
Okay,
Just,
thanks.
and just so everyone knows, just to reiterate what we talked about earlier, articles are due on the last Sunday of the month. I have to send them into the newspaper on the last Sunday of the month. So that would be the 31st this month. Articles will then go in the paper on the first Thursday of the month. Typically, that'll be the night of our meeting every month. Due to what happened on the first Wednesday of January this year, we got bumped by about a week, which is completely fair. I will tell you that this editor is fabulous to work with. She is very excited about us being involved with paper. She is very excited about us doing these articles. She has been 100% behind us in pursuing this. So I'm expecting that will continue. So it's been a very good working relationship so far. Not that it's been one that's gone on for very long, but I expect that to continue. And I think all we need to do is kind of hold up our end, and we've got this sort of monthly voice in the paper every month.
Excellent. And let me verify, we are supposed to hover around 500 words, correct?
Yes. Yeah, about the size of the last article. We probably shouldn't go much over about 600, 650. I did a column for the Chronicle years and years ago, and I was cut from 750 down to about 500. So I think 500 is probably pretty safe.
What
A
would
little
you
bit- I
say
can
your
go a little
current,
over.
what would you say your recycling article is approximately?
I didn't actually write that. They gave me credit for it because it came from me. So we'll have to include a byline in the future. I was kind of hoping it would come from the corporate author of the CEC. So it wouldn't have a particular voice to it, but that was a miscommunication. I'll take full responsibility for that.
Okay.
And I'll see if we can get sort of a corporate authorship for this in the future. It was probably in the 500 word range as memory
Okay.
serves.
Yeah, I can assure
Curious,
you,
but
it was
just don't
almost
know what
dead.
500 words look like.
Yeah, it was almost dead on 500. Yes. Okay, we are moving along very nicely this particular time. Update on the beekeeping ordinance. I sent out the link to a model ordinance from what city? Elgin, as well as the one that Steve had put together. And I just need to know if anyone has additions or concerns about what's in there and or doesn't feel it's comprehensive enough, because I'd like to then forward that on and ask, it would have to be the following city council meeting to discuss something like that, because I believe the agenda had to be posted today. Is that correct, Mayor Smith?
Yeah, city council agendas need to be posted no later than 5 PM on Thursday preceding the next Monday's meeting.
Okay, so 2 weeks from this Monday, I'd like to be able to have them discuss that as an ordinance change. Of course, I do also need to ask you, Jerry, whether the first step would be having your attorney look at it.
Yeah, I think if we got, I think if we got something in the office, for example, let's just say tomorrow, we'd want the attorney to probably take a look at it. So, you know, while you may request a particular meeting date, we will certainly try to adhere to that, but it might be delayed if in fact an attorney or whomever has to take a look at it.
Since I wasn't here when these discussions first originated, has there ever been an ordinance, has there ever been an ordinance that was attempted to be passed through the city of DeKalb that was denied? Or is this the first time this has ever gone through the city?
I think this is a first, but I'm not 100% sure.
Well, didn't the native plant ordinance go through?
No, I meant I'm sorry, in terms of beekeeping, in terms of
Oh, I'm sorry, duh.
right, yeah, in terms of beekeeping. Yeah, I was here for the native plants and the chickens, so you know, but I didn't know if this was a thing. So okay.
I think this is the first, but again, I wouldn't stake money on that.
And what do we see as the likelihood that this could pass?
That's kind of my concern. I'm wondering, while we do want to get this through, I'm wondering at this point if we might not wait possibly until April when we might have a slightly friendlier council.
At the same time, it needs to be worked on.
Sure.
Bees are not chickens, so I'm not.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Finish your thought.
I'm just wondering, when we had people come in and speak about it, you might recall, Steve, and when we discussed it, it appeared to be something that shouldn't raise a lot of questions.
It shouldn't, but it will. I mean, you know, my fear of this is that someone will say, I'm allergic to bees, or my kid is allergic to bees, and this is going to put me at risk. This is going to put my child at risk, ignoring the fact that there are bees around anyway.
Yes.
Ignoring the fact that this is going to allow us to better regulate the bees that we have. There are some people who are going to knee-jerk reaction to this because that's the way people behave with this kind of thing. I don't know what the right answer is. I mean, maybe we do need to get it in front of the city council now so that it can be voted on in a few months. I don't know how the process works, and I don't know how long it takes. My concern is that we have, right now, we have a city council that wasn't really keen on the chickens idea, and that they may look at bees as being potentially more problematic because they're bees.
Ann, what were your thoughts on that?
One, I think one of the things that we encountered when we did the native plant ordinance, and what we walked away from 2 years ago, was our job is not to write ordinances. We spent a ton of time drafting, rewriting, and ultimately it went to the city attorneys and somebody else that I think for the wording. And I think instead of worrying about all the wording, I think if we just make sure that we give all the key points to whomever needs to supervise this or review it, the city attorney, I think we would save ourselves a lot of time and a lot of headaches if we move forward with that. I don't think there's anything wrong. You know, I don't know the members of the city council that well. So, if I'm inclined to agree with Steve that if he thinks we have a better chance of passing this in a later session, that's fine. But again, this is going to go back to what we had with the chickens as I'm looking at statement number 10 and 11. About beekeeping shall require a permit and the applicant will demonstrate location, blah, blah. And 11, about any violation, who's going to monitor?
This is something that works in our favor.
Okay,
Bees are monitored by the state. We don't have to do anything.
Oh,
okay. And does the
It's-
state have a local
Yes.
office?
Yes.
Okay,
We, in fact, last year, the year before, he came out and talked to the commission.
okay.
So yes,
hmm.
the city of DeKalb actually doesn't have to do anything regarding this aside from have a form that people fill out and perhaps pay a $25 fee or whatever for an apiary that they can get stamped. The city doesn't have to regulate. The city doesn't have to check the apiaries. The city doesn't have to do a thing. It's state regulated.
That's good to hear.
Yes.
That's good to hear. Thank you for that. Those are my only comments.
Yeah, that's something that will probably come up, and it's an important point that actually this is in our favor.
Okay.
So Jerry, tell me, is there any possibility of submitting this for a review by the city attorney that then maybe put in a format that is more appropriate and then presenting it? Or does it have to go through the city council saying, yes, we're interested, and then it goes to the attorney?
No, the former is what works best. My advice simply would be to get something to staff. Let staff take a look at it. It will go then to our city attorney. And as Steve suggests, if the city is really not involved as it relates to enforcement, et cetera, I think anytime that you have a little pre-conversation, if you will, a pre-bid meeting, if you will, before it goes to city council, so that when city council gets it, they're pretty sure that the attorney and staff and all that has sort of bought into the idea based on the recommendation of the Environmental Commission. And I think the likelihood of something like that going through city council is would certainly be the way to go, in my opinion.
Wonderful. Then I would like to entertain a motion to send the draft that is currently prepared by Steve to the city staff for review and revision as needed prior to presentation to the city council.
Sounds good.
I'll make the motion if no one else will.
Okay, second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Okay, all opposed? Okay, passed. I will send this on. If I send it to Ruth, will it get to the people? Okay, that will be sent to Ruth. Okay, excellent. Next, the leaf burning ordinance. I sent this rather late, realizing that I had completed the letter to the mayor for the city council shortly after the meeting we had in December. And I hope all of you have gotten a chance to read it. I can pull it up if necessary. And if we can vote on this, I can then again also send that off via Ruth to get to the mayor and the city council. So we can move ahead with great precedent with the links that I put at the end of that article, of that letter, showing that there is really no reason for us not to have a leaf burning ordinance in DeKalb. So does anyone have any comments on the letter?
When was it sent? I'm trying to find, I haven't seen it.
Well, that's just it. I sent it this afternoon.
Oh,
And I can share my screen and we can promptly take a quick look at it so that we know what we're
That would be fine.
Oh.
Thank you.
Ha, the host disabled participant screen sharing. Okay.
Jeremy.
So I guess Matt was the only privileged person today that could share his screen. Okay, I'll be working with Jeremy to figure out how to do this. So,
There, I've got it. I've got it.
okay, Steve, did you get a chance? How about you, Sharon and Adrian? Did you read over this?
Yes.
I did read
Yeah.
over this.
So Anne, can you do that kind of quickly? And
Well, yeah, go, yeah.
oh, shall I already entertain the motion?
If you wish.
Okay. I would like to move.
Because if I don't like it, I'll vote it down.
I move that we send this letter recommending that we follow the lead of many other cities to prevent leaf burning for environmental health of the community to the city council for to add to our own ordinances.
Are you looking for a motion? Sorry.
Yes.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
Move. So move.
Second.
Okay, second.
Oh. Nick beat me to it.
Aha.
Actually, Nick can't.
Oh, I'm
vote
not allowed
yet
to, yeah, right?
today.
Oh, okay, then I'll second it.
Darn.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Wonderful. We've gotten that through. Now, I'll open the floor for other updates on other items. I do have some myself, but first, does anyone else have announcements? Or actually, first, it's got to be updates on previously discussed items, something maybe you've been working on. Adrian, you've been working on something.
Yeah, so I did some digging into the outdoor lighting ordinances, and it looks like Glen Ellen is the only one in Illinois that I could find that had anything going on. And they were also associated with the dark skies, and there was another source that I had that gave us kind of a sample ordinance on what something like that would look like. I could share that with you guys or send it to you, Claire, so that you could share it with everyone so that we could take a look at it.
Yes.
And it's all just basic things. They'd probably assign parking lots or schools with a certain amount of lux or candle foot per light. And they could just tone it down by then, and that's how they'll measure it. It looks like some people did have a lot of opposing views to knocking down some lighting. The biggest one is just neighborhood safety is what I could find still. But I don't see that as a big deal. Homer Glen is really all about it. If you guys get a chance to, I would visit Homer Glen's, the village of Homer Glen, Illinois. They have a website that will take you to everything you need to know about light ordinances and light fixtures and anything that you might have a question on. So they really did some really good research with that in Homer Glen. But yeah, I do have a sample ordinance. It is really lengthy. I'll send it to everybody, and then you guys can pluck through it as you want, and then maybe we could talk about it afterwards once everyone gets a chance to look at it. See if you think that we need it. That was another thing that they said, is that sometimes it just adds more of a headache. Sometimes the ordinances are just that you end up just making useless rules. So look at some of the things that they say. There's a lot on the subject, and I'll send the sample ordinance over to Claire.
Thank you very much. Where is Homewood Glen? Is it a suburb of Chicago?
Homer Glen, I think, is south of Chicago. So it's a really small place, the village of Homer Glen.
Oh, Homer. Could you spell that?
Homer, like the Odyssey.
Oh, is it all one word?
No, Homer space Glen, Glenn.
Okay.
Yep, and that's the only one in Illinois that I'm aware of that's doing that. That's way even south. Nobody has any light ordinances in place. But theirs is very long. Ours could be fairly simple, because I don't see anything wrong other than the stadium when they're playing. I don't think that we'd have to tone anything down, but that's up for discussion later.
Thank you, Adrian. That is a huge help. Anyone have any
You're welcome.
comments on that? Okay, anyone have any updates on anything they've been working on? Okay, a piece of old business I want to mention. The Monarch City enrollment, we are eligible for some city signs. I have emailed the person supposedly in charge twice. Again, you can never tell with COVID-19 why people don't answer you. I have not heard back from anyone in that organization yet. I'm supposed to be able to determine what type of signs we want. So I will be approaching that issue again. Let's see. Also, see if anything else is here. It was such a confusing and mixed up year, 2020, that the year-end report from 2019 was presented at a city council meeting like in April. And then we had these long lags where we didn't have didn't have a meeting for 2 months in a row. Anyway, we still don't have a year-end report for 2020. So I have to write that and I will bring it to the next meeting. And again, we're going to be a bit late, but not as late as we were for 2019. Let's
2019 set the bar pretty low.
right. Let's see. Wait a minute. Oh, I did have a request from the Backyard Chickens group that was prominent in their original push to get backyard chickens here, and had actually asked the city council member, the one who's running for mayor, to put it on her agenda in the first place, and which she did back in, I think it was all the way back in October, something like that. And at that time, because the city council members could not agree whether they would accept backyard chickens or not, this is why one of the members said, let's have it as a referendum in April. Okay, now we're getting near that. Usually it's a nice, easy bet to get something passed in April because not many people vote, but this is going to be a mayoral voting time this time. So more people are going to go to the polls. This chicken group, I shouldn't call them the chicken group. This group is wondering if we can do anything to help them promote the benefits and clear up the myths of having backyard chickens in order to increase interest and encourage voters to say yes. I told them that I would ask at this meeting whether we should have a presentation. Again, we had one at least 2-3 years ago now, had a good attendance. As a matter of fact, that's how we got Steve here. He attended that particular presentation. But to make it simple for all of us, I was thinking of saying to the people, Matt's one of them, he attended one of our meetings, that they should put together their argument as best they can. I can't do an entire presentation at this time prior to April, simply because of my workload. So is anyone opposed, or do you have opinions as to whether we should support? Don't forget, we did in a unanimous vote. I'd like to inform Ann and Nick because you weren't here. I don't think, yeah, Adrian, you were already with us. We voted unanimously to support backyard chickens in DeKalb, because the reason the city council wasn't going to hear anything about it yet is because we hadn't made a recommendation. And we couldn't 2 years ago or so because we had an opposing view. As you recall, Bill Lechno did not give us a unanimous decision on it. So we voted unanimously that we wanted to promote this. So what do you think about now having a presentation prior to the April elections.
I think my comment is, what has changed from 2 years ago, other than having a dissenting vote? Because Bill made some really good points. Who is going to supervise? Now, unlike the bees, this is going to fall on city hands in terms of monitoring, making sure people are going to keep their coops up. They're going to treat the chickens fairly, get veterinary care. What is different this time, other than having a unanimous decision based on us? What is different this time in terms of care and monitoring of people's coops versus 2 years ago? Has anything changed?
What has changed is the city councils, and if someone would remind me who's running for mayor, I can say her name properly.
Owen Barnes and Carolyn Morris.
Carolyn Morris insisted, and she also, I don't know if I want to say she got buy-in, but what came up was city funds. Will we have the money to monitor this situation? It's going to fall on the city, which of course is different from the bees.
Yeah.
And Carolyn put it forth that if the city wants to get something done, we can find the money to do it. And at that time, Bill Nicholas did not deny that fact. So we can't lean on that, oh, we're short of funds because of our city budget.
And what about personnel to actually inspect it? Because remember, that's not our job. So who's inspecting them?
Well, that's just it. It takes the money to pay the staff to do so. And this is what Carolyn Morris was saying, that we can find it.
It's worth noting as well here that, I mean, as far as living up to everything, how many complaints do we expect to get? Because some research has been done, and I can go back and look into this. I've got some people I can talk to. I don't have it in front of me right now, but cities that have similar ordinances have like one chicken call every 3 years. Okay. This is not something that is going to be like, oh no, we're going to have bring out the chicken patrol every 2 weeks. You know, I think we're going to get a lot more calls for things like dogs and cats and, you know, coyotes roaming around than we are chickens. I don't think it's going to increase anybody's workload. I admit, yes, having to have someone come out and check the chicken coop. But I mean, I want to say that the ordinance originally is written, we weren't allowing for more than like 20 people to have chickens. So, I mean, this is something that it's not going to take up a lot of time. It's not like we need a full-time chicken wrangler.
I understand that, but I also know that just in the past couple of years, a lot of positions have been cut. So, which means there's fewer people doing more work.
Sure.
And don't get me wrong, I think it would be kind of fun to have a chicken coop. I also know that the way my yard is shaped, I am not eligible for one. So, you know, you have that kind of thing going on. But I'm one of those people who sits on the fence. It's like, I want it, but I'm a little hesitant. I want it, but I'm a little hesitant. So,
no, I get it. I would love to have chickens too. I think my dogs would object.
yeah.
So,
They would just chase them around.
Chickens and chihuahuas don't mix very well. So, so I would love to have them, and I would name them all after 30s and 40s movie stars. I don't think it would go well. So, I think a lot of the worry that people have about this, I don't want to say is misplaced. I think it's kind of overwrought.
I just want to agree with you because my son and daughter-in-law have a chicken coop in their backyard. They live in Los Angeles. They have about 6 chickens. And when the chickens are producing well, which right now they're not, they have a new batch of chickens. They get enough eggs to feed a family of 4. And they have no problems from anyone. No one objects to what they're doing. My son built the chicken coop himself. The cats love the chickens. I don't know about dogs, so.
The thing is, the other thing is that it's probably true that there are people in DeKalb with chickens right now that we don't know about.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, I personally know people that are already doing this, and I'm pretty sure none of them have had any problems. That would be a really good study to have, right? Is how many people are already illegally owning chickens. That sounds silly, right? Illegally owning chickens, but how many illegally owned chickens are causing a problem nowadays? And I would almost guarantee that the answer is zero.
Which,
But then again, she's right. I think the issue here is that what Anne's saying is that in someone's mind, when this goes through them, they're going to say, well, who's going to take care of this if this becomes a mess? Since it isn't. And we had a gentleman that attended one of the meetings I was at when we still had him at the police station that just brought forth great facts about other counties. And he did the research for us. I mean, if we could just contact him again and have him give us those bullet points. I mean, he mentioned what Steve just mentioned, that we all have cats and dogs and no one comes knocking on our door to say, how are they doing? There's no such thing as that going on. And this gentleman also brought forth how easy it was for everyone to do it. And he did a really good job for us already. And maybe if that subject gets brought by them and they understand this, it's pretty much a no-brainer. And as far as a presentation goes, what kind of presentation could we do that people would pay attention to? I mean, I personally think a very short snippet YouTube video that you could click share on Facebook and people could just look and say, look how easy it is to own chickens. We should really use chickens. That's just me.
Adrian, that very person that you're talking about, named Matt, he's the one that came to me and said, could you do a presentation? Because see, he's just a citizens group. We have clout, he figures. I know, isn't that funny, Sharon?
Yeah.
So he'd like our name behind it. For that matter, having our name behind it is why the city council addressed it in the first place.
Mhm.
So that's why I'm saying, Adrian, that I would say to Matt, give me your points, put it together. And also, Adrian, I think focusing on what you just said makes a whole new argument that because
Oops.
people already have chickens here, which is something Kenny Cook always said, we more endanger the population by not having rules in place than if we have the rule. Yes, you can have up to 6 chickens, which is what we had said in our draft.
Right.
But here's what you have to do. You have to have 10 feet of run for every chicken, et cetera, et cetera. So the format of this presentation could be, we want to protect the city from illegal chicken holders.
Or we want to protect these chickens from bad owners.
Yeah.
You know, let's look at it that way. You know,
Yeah,
let's say,
that's-
hey, you can't have chickens unless you have an adequate space for them. You know, if we kind of flip the view on what they look at it instead of saying, hey, is it bad for us? Well, hey, how is it beneficial for the animals as well? It's a whole new viewpoint. And I think Matt, that gentleman, right? Matt did a great job. So I think if that's the person doing it, we're in good hands. I put my name behind it.
Thank you, Adrian. How do you feel about this, Anne?
I'm fine with agreeing with it and seeing where the city council does with it.
No, I mean, doing a presentation.
Oh, having our group do a presentation?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not going to do it, but yeah.
Okay. Well, then I will contact Matt. Well, first, of course, I need to take a vote here because this would actually be our first presentation because we've got to do it before April. And of course, it would have to be on Zoom. And I would actually look into whether any other organization would like to co-sponsor because the more the merrier. I bet you 350 Kishwaukee would. I don't know about the League of Women Voters. I mean, I don't know what they would have to say about that.
the
I don't
Backyard
know if
Chickens
this-
Group would.
The Backyard Chickens Group, of course. Is this any kind of a STEM cafe item, Anne, do you think?
I have no idea.
Oh, besides that, they're 6 months out or 8 months
Right.
out.
And
so-
I'll ask about the 5G, so we'll see.
Okay, all right, well, I move that we contact the people interested in promoting chickens in DeKalb and agree to sponsor a presentation promoting backyard chickens before the April elections. Motion, please.
I'll motion.
Okay,
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Great. They will be very happy. Okay, let's see. The last thing was, and I, unfortunately, I can't share my screen because it is this proposal. Now, the mayor sent a few days ago. He said, I think that we signed on last year to the annual Wyland Mayor's Challenge for Water Conservation. I don't recall anything about this, but he said that they're doing this 10th annual competition. And it ends up being competition between cities to see who uses the least water and who conserves it best. And it would take a little bit of work. Excuse me. It's a matter of signing up and then connecting with connecting. You don't have to do it as a competition with another city, but you do have to connect with residents and explain to them how they could cut back on water, and you have to monitor this. It's a lot, and which I was going to show you. Because he got to me so late on this, I haven't sent it out. Would anyone be interested in working on something like this? And of course, Nick, you may be.
I mean, I do work at the water treatment plant, so.
Which of course is a little different.
True, I suppose I'm on the back end of it, but.
Okay, well, because I can't share this and because this is just talk right now, I will send out this email that the mayor got via Ruth to everyone. And if you're interested, Nick, in following up, contact me, okay?
Okay, sure.
Should that be an agenda item for a future meeting?
Well, I was going to add, I'm not even sure that something like that is an issue that the CEC specifically promotes, or if it's something that Nick would just work with the mayor on. But yes, let's put it on as an agenda item. Because that water challenge, I believe, is coming up in April. So we have a little bit of time.
Yeah.
It's going to be here before we know it.
Yeah.
And for those of you who are attending new, Nick, the reason we are not having a February meeting, I may have emailed you this, is because they pushed our meetings to the end of each of the months of January and February. So literally a week after the February date is March 4th. And so it didn't make any sense
Yeah.
to have a February meeting. Okay, I'm just going to look quickly to see if there's anything I haven't stated. No, I've covered all of my notes. Anyone have any others? Okay, well, we are actually ending this meeting early today. Amazingly. Would someone entertain a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
I second.
Second. Okay, it's moved and seconded that we adjourn this meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
Aye. Okay, all opposed? Of course not. Are you opposed, Steve?
No, I was waving by.
Oh, okay. Don't forget, our next meeting is March 4th, 4 o'clock, unless we go to, and be aware, if the governor states that we all of a sudden, for some reason, end up at tier 1, we will not be allowed to do this in Zoom. I'm not sure in tier 2, the city is going to allow it. The only reason it's been allowed is we've been hanging around that tier 3.
Well, from what I saw today, looks like we're at tier 1 right now.
All the way up to tier 1.
That's what I think I saw, but I can double check.
Well, they allowed this to go through, I guess. Well, let me tell you, I'm not going to go eat at a restaurant yet myself.
Me either.
No
All right,
way.
have a good month, everyone.
Yes. Bye,
Take care,
everyone.
everybody. It's fun being here for my
Thanks for
first meeting.
coming. Bye.
Bye-bye.